bad or different. Well, I told him 2 weeks ago, I said, you tell me what you want to do.
Y'all ready to start?
Didn't have nothing going.
Y'all ready to go? We'll call our Bryan County Board of Commissioners meeting for May 9th to order, please. If you would stand, Commissioner Covington is going to give us the invocation, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you, Lord, for this day, and thank you for all that you do for us, Lord. We ask that you bless us and you bless this county, that we might make good decisions that fall in your favor, Lord. Please hold us and guide us through this. For us in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank everybody for being here. Derek, thank you for being here. Derek, don't mean to call you out, but he's our school board, on our school board, and sits on the Development Authority. And Anna Chafin is also with the Development Authority. Thank y'all for being here tonight, and welcome everybody else. If you do speak and you want to leave, we just ask that you exit this door. Don't come in the door, kind of got it one way. So if you want to leave during the meeting, if you'll go out those back doors there, thank you. Next, we need the approval of our 2023 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve,
That's right, make a motion.
to approve the 2023 April meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay. All right, now we'll go up for the approval of our agenda, excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the agenda with the following changes. In the community development public hearing items, remove item 1, First City Associates, second reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map. Item number 2, Blitchton Bryan Oaks, comprehensive plan amendment. And item number 3, Blitchton Bryan Oaks, second reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay, that motion carries. All right, we need a motion to approve our consent agenda items.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items as listed.
Second.
Second, any discussion on those? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay, that motion carries. All right, we're gonna get down to our public hearing, so we need a motion to close this meeting and open up our public hearing meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we close this meeting and open up the public hearing portion of our meeting.
Second.
Second, all right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, all right. Now, we are now in our public hearing. The first item up is urban redevelopment plan adoption. Eric, would you like to say anything on that? Or just?
I'd like to make a few comments.
Yes, if you don't mind, so people know in the audience.
Yeah, Chairman, Commissioners, and the audience, this plan has been prepared and approved by the URA, which is a group of people, yourselves, that met last week to review the plan and proposed. It is a tool that we're using to meet some needs and requirements by the DCA, the Department of Community Development at the Georgia level, and it lays out some ideas for redevelopment for Bryan County over the coming years.
Okay, anybody have any questions for him? All right, thank you. Would anybody like to speak on that in the audience? None, okay. All right, next up is item number 4, Watergrass LLC, the second reading of an ordinance to amend the plan development for Watergrass subdivision 32.6 acres, portion of parcel 057-0 or 107.
Apologize, let's go through these ones that we removed. Okay, this, I was going to present this one and number 5 together, if that's all right with you, as they're related. So the first one is for the PD amendment for Watergrass, and it's to remove phase 3 from the development, and so have it finish out with just phases 1 and 2. This development is located off of Belfast River Road, and was rezoned PD in 2017, with the third phase added in 2018. The associated application after this one is to rezone this currently phase 3 to the A5 agricultural district and develop it as large lot residential to be accessed via private roads, so it will not be accessed through this internal road network here. This table shows the changes. They're still gonna be able to meet all their recreation and open space requirements with phases 1 and 2, so that is not a concern. This is consistent with the comprehensive plan showing this area is low density, and adjacent properties to Phase 3 are largely large lot residential developments. The amendment will also overall reduce the number of lots, and there's the proposed plan. There are some large areas of special flood hazards and wetlands within this area, so it should reduce that impact as well. So this will now be accessed via a private road off of Bodiford, so will not impact those internal roads, though they will be slightly modified to have curb and gutter and sidewalks as needed for that internal use. Staff is recommending approval for this with the condition that construction plans are submitted and approved showing the changes that are needed to Colby Lane, the sidewalks, the curbing, and drainage, and that the A5 rezoning is approved, and planning and zoning recommended approval with those conditions as well.
Okay.
And the next item is just for the rezoning of that section to the A5. And you can see there the area that's proposed to be rezoned, a little over 36 acres, and the proposed plan. Again, it's consistent with those adjacent properties, which are rural residential and A5 zonings, and they will be accessed via that private road. All of those details will have to be provided for staff, including the subdivision, for approval should this be approved. So staff did recommend approval, as did planning and zoning. And I can answer any questions you have.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Okay, anybody here wish to speak for or against this project? Nobody? Okay. All right, next up, we have Kathleen Myers, second reading of ordinance to amend the zoning map for 3.921 acres, parcel 028-020.
Yeah, this is a second reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map. Ms. Kathleen Myers is requesting to rezone 3.921 acres from the RR 2.5 rural residential district to the RR 1 residential district in order to subdivide the property to place another home for a family member. And the property is at 250 Roberts Road, and planning and zoning did recommend approval of the rezoning. So just to get everyone oriented, this is on the north end of the county, very close to Bullitt County. This is the current zoning, and this is the site plan for the subdivision that's proposed.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Anybody have any questions up here from the board? Anybody in the public wish to speak for or against this? Nobody? Okay. All right, next up, number 7 is Kern and Company LLC conditional use permit for a surface mine on 104 acres, parcels 033-001 and 033-003.
So this application has been submitted by Chad Zitrower with Kern and Company LLC, working with Lanyard Development. This is a conditional use permit request for the excavation and mining activity, more commonly referred to as a borrow pit, to be operated on the parcels identified in the application located off of Eldora Road. So we took this request to the Planning and Zoning Commission at their meeting on April 18th, and through that review and public hearing, we are moving this forward with a recommendation for approval. However, there are several conditions that are going to be attached to both the staff and the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation. So those conditions, they are included in your packages on page 271. We have specific conditions related to their requirement to provide a final site development and buffer plan. Conditions related to the size of the borrow pit to be limited to the 76 acres, which has been represented in their application materials. We have a condition regarding the requirement for them to obtain the state mining permit through EPD and to provide a copy of that to staff prior to commencing any activities on site. There's an added condition from the Planning and Zoning Commission about maintaining an existing tree buffer located along the southern portion of the property boundary between the pit location and Bell Road. And a series of conditions that are related to their requirement to provide for a road maintenance bond. Now the specific requirements for the road maintenance bond are to be applied to a half mile in either direction of the site access point. For those conditions required for a half mile in either direction, that provides for their requirement to provide pavement evaluations with cores in order to assess the existing condition of the road, as well as some video and photo documentation, again showing the condition of the current road, and to post a 15% maintenance bond for the life of the operation with some specifics on how that bond is to be calculated. Now, condition 5B that's listed in the materials is specific to just a half mile to the south of the site access and 200 feet to the north of the site access. And that condition includes some specifications for the remediation should the area of the road that's being assessed is found to not be adequate at this time. They would have to remediate for that portion. So these are conditions that were discussed with our engineering department as well as the project engineer and the developer who's submitting the application. And they have been made, they do have a copy of these as well. And so our understanding is that everybody has agreed to these conditions. Now to get into the details of the request, this is the property that we're looking at on the east side of Eldora Road. It's just south of the Bullitt County line. And the particular property that we're looking at right now is A5. The borrow pit is a conditional use in the A5 district. We understand that these are somewhat temporary in nature. So in the end of the borrow pit activities, the site would be reclaimed, and it's usually reclaimed as a pond for the property owners to enjoy. Now, the specific details of the request. So the total acreage that we're looking at with this tract is 187 acres. However, only 76 acres of that is what's intended to be mined. So that's going to be the boundary that you see in blue on the concept plan before you. In addition to that, there is additional acreage, a total of 104 acres, which encompasses that 76, which could also be used for the borrow pit activities. And so this would be storage areas, where the trucks would come in and access the site. And so that is the boundary that you see in red on that concept plan. Now, the estimated duration for this pit operation, they have estimated it to be 8 years. And per the standards of the ordinance, as well as the state mining permit requirements, the proposed hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from sunrise to sunset. Now, the site access for this operation, you'll see shown on Eldora Road. So this is going to be the haul road and would not provide access to any other adjacent parcels. It's just to access the borrow pit site. So with that, I am available to answer any questions that you might have on the specific application, but before we open it up for the public comments here this evening, I also want to advise everybody that we did get emailed comments to us just yesterday. These emails were submitted from Madison Omock Jr., who is an adjacent property owner. Specific with the comments that they forwarded to staff, they have 4 questions that they are asking to be addressed this evening, and so I will defer these questions to the project engineer, but I do just want to go ahead and read them into the record. So question number 1 that has been asked is what will be the maximum depth below the present elevation of the area being they said evacuated, I think they mean excavated, at the time of project completion. Question number 2, has there or will there be a study done to determine the effect on the well water levels now available to surrounding properties, especially for those who depend on shallow wells for household use or irrigation? Question number 3, how will possible overflow of the large pond be created and channeled to prevent overrun to adjoining properties? And question 4, has the Georgia Environmental Division examined and approved the total environmental impact of this project, particularly any possible runoff that may be directed toward the Ogeechee River? So we were able to forward these on to the project engineer, and as stated, they should be able to address those for you this evening.
Okay. Are they, somebody here to answer those? Amanda, do we put in there about making sure that road is kind of swept clean, the main road going?
So there is not a specific condition related to that. Now, as part of their site plan approval, they do have to submit plans to us. They do have to get an encroachment permit to access Eldora Road. And so as with any construction type project, under those required permits, they are required to maintain the site entrances and can be conditioned upon those permits and approvals.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Chad Zerauer with Kern & Company. A few things to just clarify in regards to the roadway. So what we do on our operations is we pave in approximately 100 feet from the edge of right-of-way to go ahead and keep that so your trucks don't get stuck in the construction entrance and kind of drag a little bit. But yes, we will keep the road swept. In addition, we did submit a traffic study and we are required to install a left turn deceleration lane before our approach. So the trucks will be able to slow down and not hinder traffic that's in the flow direction. Responding to the questions that were presented by Mr. Mock, the maximum depth from the existing area, we will excavate approximately 25 feet as far as the depth. Once the water table builds up, the water table will be approximately 5 feet down from existing conditions. So total excavation 25 feet, but as the water comes back up, the water will be down about 5 feet from existing levels. Study determined the impact of well waters. So this is a sandy clay material that we're utilizing for this bar pit. There's a bluff between us and the river. That's approximately 200 feet from our excavated area. Our geotechnical investigations indicate that the water table is currently 6 feet down below. So with the material that's there, we do not see that impacting anything with the surrounding areas. So don't feel like that'll be an issue. The overflow for the pond. So we're required to, per state requirements, install a sediment basin in conjunction with our excavation. That sediment basin will have a temporary overflow that everything will filter out to and discharge towards the river, which is also on our properties, but it would not in fact impact other properties. At the conclusion of our project, we will take the temporary out and put a permanent overflow in at that same location to ensure that there's not, issues with other properties. And the EPD, impact on analyzing runoff. One of the staff conditions is for EPD approval. They have regulations for monitoring. So we feel like all of Mr. Mott's concerns will be addressed in our application.
All right, thank you, sir, for answering those questions for him.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to speak for or against this project? Any comments?
As long as the conditions are met, are y'all gonna have to have another meeting or
No, sir.
this will be it?
Yes, sir. Yep, all right. All right, hearing no more, all right, we're down to item number 8. Wilton Thompson, minor subdivision amendment to a major subdivision plat for 3.65 acres, parcel 0271-032.
Yeah, this is a major amendment to subdivision Heritage Acres D, which was recorded in 1986. Wilton Thompson is representing Sarah Zipperer for an additional lot in Heritage Acres located on Emmeline Lane. Staff recommended approval for the plat with the condition that the applicant submit a level 3 soil analysis, which is needed for the county health department septic application. He submitted a level 1 soil analysis, but the health department requires a level 3, and planning and zoning recommended approval with the staff condition. So this is off of Manny English Road, and that's where the new lot will have frontage on the north end of the county. The current zoning, it meets all of the requirements, and this is the proposed subdivision.
Okay.
Do y'all have any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions? Nope. Anybody in the public wish to speak for or against this project? Sir, are you coming to speak?
He's next.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thought you were coming to speak. All right, next item up is the item number 9, alcoholic beverage license for Alan Maurice Bland, Groveland Outfitters LLC. If you just wait till she presents it to us, please.
Yeah, so this is a request for an alcohol license in order to permit the sale of beer and wine by the package for off-premise consumption. Property location is 7360 US Highway 280 West. So this is out west of Pembroke off of Highway 280. The property owner, Alan Maurice Bland, who is also the owner and manager of Groveland Outfitters, is requesting the license and is currently operating the business there as, I think, a bait and tackle shop, and so just looking for beer and wine sales. Under this requirement, he did have to submit to a background check and came back with nothing that would qualify him for, a disqualification. So staff is recommending approval.
Okay. All right, anybody wish to speak for or against this? Sir, would you like to come speak now?
She covered it for me.
Okay, all right. Nobody else wants to speak for or against? Okay. What we'll do now, get a motion to close this public hearing and open up our regular meeting back and go through and vote on these items. So we need a motion to close the public hearing and open our scheduled meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we close the public hearing and we return to the regular meeting.
Second.
Second, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right. First item up is the urban redevelopment plan adoption.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the urban redevelopment plan as presented and approved by the Urban Redevelopment Agency of Bryan County.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. All right, we skipped our next three. Now we're down to the Watergrass LLC second reading of an ordinance to amend the plan development for Watergrass subdivision, 32.6 acres, portion of parcel 057-107.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the PD amendment with the following conditions. Construction plans are submitted and approved showing the changes to Colby Lane, sidewalks, curbing, and drainage prior to completion of the road bond for Phase 2. And the second condition, that the rezoning to A5 Agricultural District is approved.
I'll second that.
Second that. Any discussion on that? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, we're down to Watergrass LLC, second reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning for map for 32.6 acres, portions of 057-107.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the rezoning of 32.6 acres of parcel number 057-107 from PD to A5 Agricultural Zoning District.
Second.
All right, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, we're down to item number 7, the Kernan Company LLC conditional use permit for a surface mine.
Skip
Oh,
6.
Sorry about that.
Very tough.
All right, excuse me. Item number 6, Kathleen Meyer, second reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map for 3.91 acres, parcel 028-020.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the rezoning of parcel number 028-020 from RR 2.5 rural residential to RR1 rural residential 1 acre zoning district.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, now we're down to number 7, the Kernan Company LLC conditional use permit for a surface mine for 104 acres, parcels 033-001 and 033-003.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for excavation and mining with the following conditions. A final site development and buffer plan conforming to the specific supplemental use regulations governing excavation and mining operation that's set forth in section 114-731 of the Unified Development Ordinance shall be submitted for review and approval prior to the commencement of any land disturbing excavation activities on site. Number 2, the site of the borrow pit shall not exceed 76 acres as shown on the concept plan entitled Plans of the Davis-Utley Parcels for Lanyard Development prepared by Kern and Company, LLC, dated March 21, 2023. Any proposed expansion of the pit shall require an amendment to the conditional use approval. Number 3, the amendment shall obtain a state mining permit from the Department of Natural Resources Environmental Protection Division. A copy of the approved state mining permit must be submitted to the Community Development Department prior to work commencing. Number 4, the property owner shall maintain the existing tree bluff along the southern portion of the property boundary between the pit location and Bell Road. Number 5, a road maintenance bond shall be required meeting the following requirements. For 1/2 mile in both directions from proposed site access, the applicant shall, number 1, provide pavement evaluation with cores as deemed necessary by the county to determine if current pavement section is adequate for the present traffic loading plus the proposed truck loading from the site. If substandard, then remediate. Number 2, provide detailed video and photo documentation of the current road and shoulder conditions prior to issuance of operations and each year thereafter for the duration of operations. Immediately remediating any detrimental impacts to the road, shoulders, drainage, swales, structures, striping, etc. is identified by the county on a yearly basis. Number 3, post a 15% maintenance bond for the life of operations to be canceled only once operations have ceased and proper closure of the facility has been verified by the county and/or state. Number 4, bond calculated on 15% of the total cost of full depth pavement repair for 15% of the road service plus 2 inches overlay and striping of the entire 1 mile length of the road. Item B, for 1/2 mile to the south and 200 foot north of the site access, the county shall provide a pavement evaluation within 3 months to determine if current pavement section is adequate for present traffic loading plus the proposed truck loading from the site. Should it be found to be substandard, the applicant shall remediate to the county standards. Amen.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Second that? Any discussion? Thank you, Gene, for reading those in. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, Wilton, the next up, number 8, Wilton Thompson Minor Subdivision Amendment to a Major Subdivision Plat, 3.65 acres, parcel 0271-032.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the subdivision plat and amendment of Heritage Acres Phase D with the following conditions. The property owner must file an application with the county's Public Health Department for final review and approval of use of individual septic system.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, the alcohol beverage license, Alan Maurice Bland, Groveland Outfitters LLC, item number 9.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the alcoholic beverage license for Groveland Outfitters.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, we're down to our community development non-public hearing items. First item up is Rick Wilson, the first reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map for 4.65 acres, parcel 029-015-09.
Yeah, this is the first reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map for 4.65 acres of property located at 445 Deer Run Road from its current A5 agricultural zoning district to the CI Interchange Commercial District. This ordinance is being taken for a first reading only, so there's no official action to be taken tonight, and it will have a public hearing next week with the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay. All right, thank you. And then item number 2, Patricia Wilson and Deidre Williams, first reading of an ordinance to amend the zoning map for 8.11 acres, parcel 028-032, 028-032-01.
Mr. Chairman, and the final vote on both of these items will be held up here, correct?
Yes. Okay.
So this is again a first reading for rezoning from an existing RR 1.5 to a proposed I2 industrial zoning with the first public hearing on May 16th with planning and zoning, and then back to you all currently June 13th unless that schedule is adjusted.
Okay. And that's just a first reading, so no action needed on those items. Thank you. All right. County Administrator Ben Taylor, up. Comar Private Development Agreement, item number 1.
Item 1 is the Comar Private Development Agreement for Old Collar Road improvements. This item is to approve a private development agreement for KF Savannah LLC, known as Comar, that provides for road improvements. Specifically, the private development agreement requires Comar to extend Oracle Parkway by approximately 3,935 feet. It further requires Comar to contribute funds to improvements on Old Collar Road as well. Staff recommends the approval of this private development agreement.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the Comar Private Development Agreement as presented.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, next is the first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 111 Bryan County Soil Erosion and Sediment Control Ordinance.
This is the first reading. There's no action required for this reading, but this is the first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 111 of the Bryan County Soil Erosion and Sediment Control Ordinance. With more development occurring in the county, the engineering department is responsible for more stormwater-related construction issues. Under the current code, engineering department does not have the authority to issue civil fines. The county has to either issue a criminal citation or file a civil action with a magistrate, which is very inefficient. This proposed amendment to that chapter, Chapter 111, will allow engineering to issue civil fines. And that is the first reading, so no action
Yeah,
required.
no action required, okay. All right. Number 3 is the 2023 road resurfacing project LeMig contract award.
Item 3 is the award of a contract to Sykes Brothers Incorporated for our 2023 road resurfacing project, known as LMIG, basically. Our recommendation is to award the contract to Sykes Brothers Incorporated from Cobbtown, Georgia for $681,541.85 for the 2023 road surfacing project.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion authorizing staff to award a contract to Sykes Brothers, Inc. in the amount of $681,541.85 for the 2023 road resurfacing projects.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. All right, next up, number 4 is CBDG grant submittal resolution.
Item 4 is a resolution in support of a 2023 CDBG application at Georgia Department of Community Affairs and the commitment of matching funds. In preparation of the FY 2023 CDBG grant application, approval of this resolution is required by DCA. You have the resolution before you. This grant application is due June 2nd, 2023. The grants has been prepared by county staff with the assistance of Southern Prosperity Consulting. This, of course, is for a senior citizen center on the northern part of the county. Our recommendation is to approve the resolution and the CDBG grant application, authorize its submittal as well.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the submission of the 2023 CDBG application to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs and commitment of matching funds.
It's actually CBDG.
CBD,
There you go.
community, well, it's, yeah, okay.
It's different.
You wanna? We all good? You have a
Yeah.
motion to second? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, next up is the Forehand Timber Company option agreement and easement.
Item 5 is a Forehead Timber Company option agreement and easement. This item is to approve an option agreement and easement from Forehand Timber Company Incorporated for the use of the I-16 Regional Sewer Improvements Project. This easement was approved for condemnation back in March of 2023. Following that approval, the county representatives of Timber Company continue in good faith negotiations and reach terms that are reasonable and fair. Our recommendation is the approval of the option agreement and easement agreement from Forehand Timber Company and approve staff to cause negotiated consideration to be paid to them as well.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the option agreement and easement from Forehand Timber Company Incorporated and to approve staff to cause the negotiated consideration to be paid to Forehand Timber Company Incorporated.
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, item number 6, Cindy S. Miles and Teresa Rawson option agreement and easement.
Item 6, are we still proceeding with this one? Okay. I believe we've still got a little bit more work to do on this, so we'll skip this one.
Okay.
Pull it from the agenda.
All right, number 7 is Billy L. Lewis option agreement and easement.
Item 7 is the Billy L. Lewis option and easement agreement. This also is an option agreement and easement from Mr. Billy Lewis for the use in the I-16 Regional Sewer Improvements project. This easement was on the agenda for consideration in April of 2023, but was tabled until May. Mr. Lewis accepted the county's offer of appraised value, and the county representatives of Mr. Lewis negotiated the form of the easement. Staff recommends the approval of the option agreement and easement agreement from Mr. Lewis and approve staff to cause the consideration to be paid to Mr. Lewis as well.
Okay, we need a motion for that one. That's item number 7. Excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the option agreement and easement from Billy L. Lewis and to approve staff to cause the consideration to be paid to Billy L. Lewis.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay. So for people who know that we're running a pipeline, that blue pipe you see on 16, it's going through Effingham County, and they're just getting the property to do it all the way to Savannah. So that's what this is about, so if people have questions about it. And we're just getting some land, easement through their properties. All right, item number 8 is Radiant Private Development Agreement.
Item number 8 is Radiant Private Development Agreement. This item is to approve a private development agreement between the county and Radiant to Richmond Hill LLC, otherwise known as Radiant, concerning improvements on Belfast Keller Road. This agreement has been negotiated in good faith by the representatives of the county and Radiant. The result of these negotiations is a clear development agreement that provides a path forward for commencing the engineering and design of the improvements necessary for that road, and millions of dollars in total contributions from Radiant and other developers, the dedication of right-of-way and other very valuable benefits. Staff recommends the approval of this private development agreement.
Any motion on that?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the private development agreement between Radiant Richmond Hill LLC and Bryan County as presented.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay, that motion carries. Item number 9, Radiant Easement Agreement for Water Sewer Access.
Item 9 is a Radiant easement agreement for water and sewer access. This item is to approve an easement agreement for water and sewer and its access between the county and Radiant Richmond Hill LLC. Radiant is donating easements to the county to allow the county to continue construction of water and sewer facilities that are necessary for the county's public water and sewer service delivery area. Staff recommends the approval of the easement agreement for water and sewer and its access.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the easement agreement for water, sewer, and access with Radiant Richmond Hill LLC.
Second.
Second.
Second. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay, that motion carries. All right, down to number 10 is the Mobus Private Development Agreement.
Item 10 is a private development agreement with Mobus. This item is to approve this private development agreement with Mobus North America Electrified Powertrain LLC to contribute funds towards improvements on Belfast Keller relating to increased traffic that the Mobus project will generate on that county road. Staff recommends approval of the Mobus private development agreement, and also staff recommends approval of the the following Mobus economic development agreement.
We need a motion on that one.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the Mobus Private Development Agreement.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? Okay. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Right down to Mobus Economic Development Agreement, item number 11.
Item 11 is the Mobus Economic Development Agreement. This item is to approve an economic development agreement for Mobus North American Electrified Powertrain LLC. The economic development agreement is between Mobus and the Development Authority of Bryan County and memorializes various economic incentives offered by the Development Authority to Mobus. Mobus plans to develop approximately 199 acres in Bryan County and the city of Richmond Hill for a facility that will provide employment and other opportunities. One of the incentives offers to Mobus is a tax abatement agreement for a specific period of time in that economic development agreement. Staff recommends approval of Mobus Economic Development Agreement as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to approve the Mobus Economic Development Agreement.
Second.
Second. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. Just for people in the audience, this is working together with Radiant. Bill, thank you for being here too. Radiant and Mobus. So when they come into the community, they work with us and partner with us to help keep the roads flowing and improve the roads in that area. So that's what these agreements are for. So they're kind of paying their share of helping us, and we do appreciate that, Bill. And Radiant Providence, yes, sir. Thank you for being a good partner. All right, number 12 is our Long County Work Detail Contract.
Item 12 is the consideration of the offender work detail agreement with the Georgia Department of Corrections for 2 work details to assist with public works. This agreement authorizes 2 offender work details, each with around 10 offenders under the supervision of 1 full-time correction officer to work 4 days a week with Bryan County Public Works. This detail will be composed of 2 men's work details out of Long County. The total cost of the contract is $98,636 for a period of 1 year beginning July 1st and ending June 30th of 2024. Services, of course, will be billed monthly. Our recommendation is to authorize the county administrator to execute the work detail agreement with the Georgia Department of Corrections.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion authorizing the county administrator to execute the work detail agreement with the Georgia Department of Corrections.
Second.
Second, any discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay, that motion carries. All right, Ben, down to number 13, T&H Task Order North End Transportation Master Plan.
Item 13 is the North Bryan Traffic Planning 2023 Engineering Services Contract. Of course, northern portion of the county is set for a lot of growth due to the mega site activity. In an effort to determine future improvements that are outside those associated with the site or projects already agreed upon by GDOT, this study evaluates the potential need for improvements along the 2 corridors north of I-16, as well as several intersection corridors south of I-16. Our recommendation is to approve the attached Thomas and Hutton scope of services and authorize the chairman to execute corresponding task order number 94 in the amount of $117,500 for the Northern Bryan Traffic Planning 2023 Engineering Services Contract.
Okay, we need a motion on that one.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the Thomas and Hutton scope of services and authorize the chairman to execute corresponding task order number 94 in the amount of $117,500 for the North Bryan Traffic Planning 2023 Engineering Services Contract.
Second.
Second, any discussion on that one? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, okay, that motion carries. All right, item number 14, the T&H Task Order for the North End Water and Sewer Master Plan.
Item 14 is the Northern Bryan County Water and Sewer Master Plan 2023 Engineering Services Contract consideration. Just like the transportation plan, the growth that's expected in the northern part of the county also generates the need for water and sewer. This study will accommodate or actually identify what needs to happen to accommodate that growth. Our recommendation is approve the attached Thomas and Hutton scope of services and authorize the chairman to execute corresponding task order number 91, the amount of $44,750 for the Northern Bryan County Water and Sewer Master Plan Engineering Services Contract.
Okay, we need a motion on that one.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the Thomas and Hutton scope of services and authorize the chairman to execute corresponding task order number 91 in the amount of $44,750 for the North Bryan County Water and Sewer Master Plan 2023 Engineering Services Contract.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, okay, that motion carries, thank you. Number 15 is award the Phase 1 Regional Bryan Bullock Water Transmission Main Construction Contract.
Phase 1's, this item 15 is issue is Phase 1, the regional Bryan Bullock Water Transmission Main, also serves Seaport Development. This, in conjunction with the state of Georgia, Bryan County is committed to design, permitting, and the construction of off-site water improvements to serve Northern Bryan County. Bryan County engaged Thomas and Hutton Engineering to design and permit the Phase 1 portion of it. This Phase 1 went out to bids. Bids were received for the project May 2nd, 2023, and have been evaluated by Thomas and Hutton. 2 bids were received, Legacy Water Group LLC and Ruby Collins Incorporated. T&H has also prepared attached letter of recommendation in your packet. Our recommendation is consider the award or approval and award of Phase 1 Bryan Bullock Water Transmission Main to Legacy Water Group LLC in the amount of $9,913,725 and authorize staff to execute the necessary contract documents in order to initiate the project. This project will be paid for out of grant funds received for the state for the mega site project, so.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to award the Phase 1 Bryan Bullock Water Transmission Main, Seaport 16 Regional Water Main to Legacy Water Group LLC in the amount of $9,913,725 and authorize staff to execute the necessary contract documents in order to initiate the project.
Second.
Second. All right, any discussion on that one? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, thank you, Ben. And next one is the IGA with the City of Richmond Hill for election services.
Item 16 is a little bit of bookkeeping. It's the annual consideration of approval of intergovernmental agreement to conduct municipal elections with the City of Richmond Hill. City of Richmond Hill is seeking, just like they did many previous years, to contract with Bryan County Election Board to conduct municipal election. This agreement spells out the duties of both the board, the elections board, and the city. The election board shall, at the cost to the city, be responsible for providing all election materials, supplies, personnel, and assistance to assure the proper and orderly conduct of municipal elections. Our recommendation is to approve the intergovernmental agreement to conduct municipal elections with the City of Richmond Hill.
Need a motion for that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the City of Richmond Hill to conduct municipal elections.
Second?
Second, okay. Discussion on that one? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. All right, Ben, down to number 17, the Belfour contract.
Item 17 is a consideration of Belfour authorization for courthouse electrical upgrades. Our courthouse, of course, was struck by a tornado in April of 2022. During the rebuilding process, it became apparent that additional upgrades are necessary to the courthouse regarding the current electrical code. Of course, that's no surprise, being built in 1938. The courthouse was originally constructed, of course, at that time, and there were no code or same code requirements were not in place as they are today. In order to keep the momentum going on this restoration project, staff requests the ability to authorize Belfour to proceed with upgrades to the courthouse's electrical network. We fully anticipate that that insurance is going to pay for this project. However, we just want to keep the wheels turning, and that's why we seek this authorization. So our recommendation is approve staff to authorize a contract for $171,000 or $171,054 with Belfour for electrical upgrades in the courthouse due to the electrical code requirements of modern day.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion authorizing staff to sign the contract with Belfour Property Restoration in the amount of $171,054 for electrical upgrades to the courthouse due to electrical code requirements.
Second.
Second. All right, any discussion on that? And that will be done, Ben, by the end of the year, probably, and then end of the year and then middle of next year sometime? This will be-
Probably the middle of next year,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, that's fine. All right. And a motion is second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay. Do we have anybody signed up, Lori, to speak public comments? Okay. All right, the first one is Wayne Swindell? Swindell? Yes, sir. Well, if you just come up and state your name, and we'll give you 4 minutes to speak about whatever you want to talk about.
I feel like a fish out of water because I don't feel like I should even have to be here. My name is Wayne Swindell. I've been living in Bryan County for 43 years and been living at my present address for 38 years. And 35 years ago, myself and my son put up a chain link fence around our property. Never had any problem with people before that live next door. They've had dogs, they've had things, never no problem. But in the past 3 years, I had one collie, like Lassie. These people live next door, they got 10 pit bulldogs that roam all over the yard, and a pot-bellied pig, and a female bulldog that just had more puppies. So I don't know how many they got now. They may have 13, 14, I don't know how many puppies she had. But the thing is, they've attacked my dog through the fence that I put up, my own fence. They don't care anything about other people's property or concerned about their property or the things they have. And my thing is, what can be done about it? Without me having to spend more and more money that I've already spent from them attacking my dog. I spent almost $4,000 a couple of years ago from the vet. And nothing's done. On April the 15th, last month, I had to call the sheriff out there, deputy. He came out there because I heard the dogs carrying on in their yard fighting. So he comes out there and he looks at the dog they attacked. It was a white bulldog. The other ones attacked their own dog. And he died, but I'm not sure if he died from that or he died from the owner finishing him off once he got home. Because I saw him out there digging a hole in his backyard to bury the dog. But, you know, it's a disgrace when people don't respect other people's property and their animals. Something should be done about it. I don't know what you can do or can do. I don't want to have to keep spending money. He's dead now, my dog, but if I get another one, the same thing's going to happen. If he goes, you know how dogs are, they go to the fence and smell the other dog. Well, as soon as he sticks his nose, they'll grab him by the nose. That's happened several times. It shouldn't be allowed for the people like that to move in and have animals like that they don't control, other than keep them in the yard before they can attack my dog through my own fence. That's all I got to say. You know?
Yes, sir.
Have you called animal control?
I'm tired of calling them.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Animal control and the deputy and the sheriff, many times over the past 3 years.
Okay.
And I've talked to Wade several times. He's been out there, he's looked at the fence, he saw my dog. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Sure,
you.
sir.
Mr. Taylor, do you have any recourse or anything to add to that we can help this gentleman?
I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Our county administrator will address some of that with you, sir. Thank you, Ben.
All right, next up is Jamie Stuckey. No? Gone. Tim Casey.
They both left.
I think, okay, that's what I was thinking. Tom C. What is it?
See, man?
Seaman, okay. All right, sir, we'll give you 4 minutes to speak about whatever you want to speak about.
Thank you, gentlemen. My name is M. Thomas Seaman. I'm a college professor, and I'm here to speak about Georgia's problem with election fraud. Did you know that in 2020 that our Secretary of State, Raffensperger, went on NBC News Live and declared that President Trump was the winner in the state of Georgia? Anybody happen to see this on the news? Let me clarify what happened. It was Wednesday, the day after the election, 9 o'clock news show, Raffensperger stated there were 4,758,217 total certified votes cast in Georgia. With 98% of the votes counted, this is the day after the election, Trump is ahead by 103,705 votes. In other words, Trump had 50.5%, Biden had 48.3%. And then our Secretary of State said, national TV, with only 2% of the votes still to be counted, 93,298, Biden cannot overtake Trump. Even if Biden gets 100% of the remaining votes, it wouldn't be enough to overtake Trump. Therefore, President Trump will be the winner in the state of Georgia. This is on national news, NBC. This video footage can still be seen. I watched it this morning again. But what happened? They kept counting votes for another 2 days. And in the end, Secretary of State Raffensperger later certified 4,998,000 votes, and extra 5.8% votes were counted. First he said they were all in, and then they come up with another 5.8% somewheres. So where did all these ballots come from? Some people have been trying to figure that out. 178,000 of them were called phantom ballots that flipped Georgia from Trump to Biden. In Fulton County, 17,324 votes were counted without ballot images, which is illegal. 1,700,000 ballot images from 70 counties were destroyed in violation of the law. When they went back to go check these votes out, they were destroyed illegally. And 86,000 voters had false registration dates. The registration dates were prior to 2017, and when they went back to check the 2017 rolls, they were not there. So we have something called phantom voters happening here. Governor Bryan Kemp and Attorney General Chris Carr have constitutional authority to audit the elections, but they didn't investigate this, they didn't audit this. There were 5 active lawsuits to get these ballots unsealed. Nothing there yet either. So here's the question. Does this look like a safe and secure election to you? This is a classic election fraud, stuffing the ballot boxes just like Lyndon Johnson did in 1948. You wait till the election is over, figure out how many votes you need to win, and then you go and find the lost ballots somewhere that you need to win the election. This has been going on for years. So there's 45,000 people in Bryan County, and we need our votes protected. I've called the Secretary of State's office numerous times on this, and I don't get anywhere because I'm a nobody. But you guys have clout. You are a representative of our 45,000 voters here. So my request is, will you check in with the Secretary of State and protect the voters of Bryan County? We need answers, we need accountability, we need to make sure this does not happen again. Any questions, sir?
None here, but thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. And where are you a professor at?
Simpson University,
Where's that at?
California.
Are you still active?
Yes.
Okay.
I taught for two colleges locally as well.
Okay.
CCJ in Brunswick, and I taught for Point University for 2 years.
Okay. All right, thank you. I was just wondering.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Next up is Al Bland. Okay, well, if you just come up and state your name and.
I want to thank you commissioners for helping my business succeed. My name's Al Bland. I'm Groveland Outfitters. My comment is for public safety with all the rezoning and growth to the county, on the north end of the county. Has there been any DOT provisions for speed zones? Just like my community, Groveland, is 55 miles an hour, they go 70, 55 is a 65 plus. And I'm right there, 280 in Groveland Neville's Road. It's a death trap. It needs to be a speed zone, and several other places need to be slowed down. So that's my only comment, public safety.
And that's 280, I guess you're talking
2
about.
lanes, well, it's right at the end of the 3-lane.
Uh-huh.
And man, when they come off that 3-lane, they're getting it. So, and there's school buses coming, pulling out on 280 right there from Groveland Neville's Road. So it's just, it needs to be addressed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, next up, Wilton Thompson.
I don't have anything to say.
Okay, all right. Juanita Baker. Now, if you just come up and state your name, and we'll give you 4 minutes to say whatever you want to say.
Hi, I'm Juanita Baker. I have a question regarding the Groover Hill District. I noticed that they have put a frontage road, they've cut that out. When they did the abandonment of Jernigan Road, we had another access out of the community. Now we only have one exit point in and out of the community. In case of emergency, I have asked if there be another road access for us to be able to get out of that community other than what we have now, just that one. My question basically is to, I guess, planning and zoning. Has anybody proposed anything as far as cutting another access road for us?
We don't know, I mean, we can check on that for you. I can check on that, and I will, if you'll write your number down there, I'll give you a call and let you know what I find out.
And also too, I wanted to thank you, I noticed the no truck entry on Groover Hill, the signs went up. I noticed that today. So thank y'all for putting those up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And if you don't want to write your name down on a piece of paper, just give it to me. That's good. All right, Ron Kinder. Ron Kinder, no? Okay, and then Kevin, what, how do you pronounce that? Okay, all right. Yes, sir, and we'll give you 4 minutes to say what you need to say.
My name's Kevin Purdom. This in regards to the water grass. We came in, and apparently it has already been approved that the water grass is going to be approved, provided they change the drainage on Kobe Lane. I need to know what this drainage change is going to be, because they continue to flood my property. We've been discussing this in front of you, for probably 6, 7 months or something like that. There is zero question at all that our flooding is coming from Kobe Lane drainage. I want to know what they're doing to fix it. So where can I get this information?
You can contact Amanda, or Planning and Zoning can answer that if you just give her a call. Because in that conditions, do they have some conditions in that?
The conditions that you stated were it was approved upon the contingency of their improved drainage on Kobe Lane.
That's right.
Yeah, and we asked about that.
Yeah, that's right. So they'll look
couple
at
of
that.
times, yeah.
We approved it, but they have to approve the drainage plan for them. So when they bring that drainage plan, it has to be approved by them. Okay?
And you're the point of contact for that?
Well, you can call our Planning and Zoning.
We've gone down this road numerous times.
Okay.
And we show up here at these meetings and we get nowhere. So
Well, they approved it tonight, but it's got to be approved. The drainage plan has to be approved before they can do anything.
Okay, so I'm going to continue because I know this is being recorded. That drainage plan was approved when they first got approval to build Watergrass. That drainage plan was terrible. That's what's resulting in our flooding. So this drainage plan from whatever firm that's doing this failed us in the first place. Them coming up with another drainage plan is likely to fail as well. So
Well, they did have approval for, 41 homes? Wasn't it 41? It was 40
it
some
was,
homes, and now it's down to.
and upon our objections, that was canceled. That was their phase 3. We demonstrated the flooding that's going on my property, and at that point, they withdrew their request for phase 3. And they now have that property back there. Tim Casey is improving it so he can sell it in 5-acre lots. That part back there does not affect our property. Phase 2 is what's flooding us.
Okay.
And that phase 2 flooding comes directly from the street drainage on Kobe Lane, through a couple of the homes, directly onto my property.
Okay.
We
All right.
actually, I'm gonna say something, we actually hired a guy to come in, and there may be problems with 2 of the retention ponds that feed in to a drainage area.
To a small creek.
So it's just not Kobe Lane. There are 2 retention ponds close to us that this one drains into this one drains into the ditch that floods us. So it's just not Kobe Lane that we're 99% sure that we're getting water off of. So it's just not this little area. We don't have a picture of it.
Okay.
But there's a retaining pond here.
I actually do have pictures of it on a PowerPoint that I could give you right now.
Okay, that's okay. So what we'll do, we'll get our Planning and Zoning to address it and look at it again. I mean, that's what we'll do.
So planning and zoning, you will contact us, or do I need to continue hounding you?
So, sorry, for the record, it's really the engineering department.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's really engineering, so.
Okay.
Engineering, I realize you've been talking to Mark Hopkins, I believe, and that is.
That has brought us nowhere.
Okay.
That's what our objection is. So we
Okay.
bring these things up here at numerous meetings, and nothing occurs, except for giving Tim Casey permission to continue his development.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
If I may, if you have somebody that has looked at this in more detail, I'd be happy to meet with them. If you have an engineer that went out and looked, you said you identified certain spots that we can go focus on.
Absolutely.
Because I think we've been out there a few times, and from what we see, it was put in according to plan, and that plan.
Then that plan was terrible, because you can't bring in 6 feet of earth, build it up over someone else's property, and then go, yeah, we approved this, and it doesn't drain anywhere. That watershed has to go somewhere. It's going on my property. That's why I said that initial plan that was approved was not good.
How many properties is just yours at this point, or is anybody else's?
I'm the one right next to the water grass. So yes, mine is the only one. The rest of the water goes to the Tivoli River.
Hey, Kurt, do you mind just giving him a call next week so we can finish our meeting here? and just contact him, and then y'all can have that discussion or have it. Thank you, sir. All right, that's all of our public comments. Any commissioner comments here? No comments, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would just like to say, I'd like to thank Bill Cunningham again and Radiant Places for what they've done with this MOBIS project. In particular, that's a piece of property that the Development Authority and the county purchased some time back, and I think we've managed to lure a business in here like we'd all be proud to have. And so I thank Bill, the commission, Development Authority for all the hard work there.
All right, thank you. Yep. All right. All right, we need a motion to go into executive session for litigation.
Make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of litigation.
Second. Second, all right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, we're going into executive session, and when we come back, we'll finish up our meeting. motion.
do a,
We need a motion
endurance
to
test
adjourn here,
first.
please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion, our meeting is adjourned.
Thank y'all.